this morning we're waking up here in Orlando. It's actually kind of cool this morning. I know the temperature is going to be going up, but we were out late last night for Halloween Horror Nights, and it was an absolute blast. But today is going to be epic for me. You know, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I love space. But a couple of weeks ago, we went to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. And today, while we're in Orlando, we're taking the hour drive down to Cape Canaveral. We're going to the Kennedy Space Center. I know they have some rockets on display. I know they have some space capsules on display. We're even going to get to see, up close and personal, a real space shuttle. Space Shuttle Atlantis is at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. I can't wait. I'm so excited. This day is going to be epic. As we're driving into Cape Canaveral, you can see plain as day the VAB, or the Vehicle Assembly Building at NASA. It's where they assemble all of their rockets, and the shuttle was assembled there. It's just massive, and you can see it from a long distance away as we're driving in. If you look off to the right of the VAB, there's a tower back there that has like a white area on the front of it. That is the SpaceX launch platform. That's where all of SpaceX crewed missions launch from. That's pretty neat to see. I'm so excited to be able to see this today.
Security cards over there. Are they closed?
There was a lighthouse in Sandusky.
Yes.
Well, this is like that lighthouse.
I didn't go see it.
Oh, I see. I get it now. It's the crawl. It's supposed to look like the crawler they used to carry at the shuttle. There's the Blue Origin main assembly buildings there. Blue Origin, that's Jeff Bezos and Amazon. We are go for launch. There's the Space Shuttle countdown clock there. That's awesome. And their self-service ticket machines look like Orion, SLS Orion spacecraft. As soon as we enter the gate, we are in their rocket garden. Look, there's a Mercury spacecraft up there on top of this rocket. We're going over to the Heroes and Legends United States Astronaut Hall of Fame. The Mercury Redstone, those were built in Huntsville, Alabama. They got models of all their rockets here with the Saturn V standing tall in the center. There's the Saturn 1B, Jupiter C, there's the Redstone. The Saturn 1B Block 1, the Gemini Titan 2. Cool deal.
Because of my father. My father was a hero of mine.
Because he protects me when my brother tries to beat me up.
Oh wow! It's a Mercury Redstone rocket with an actual capsule up here on the top. Man, that's wild. That certainly looks like a 100% real Mercury capsule that went to space. I don't see a placard right off to show me which one it was, but man, that's awesome. And the Mercury Redstone rocket, they've like cut holes in it so you could kind of see some of the inner workings. So cool. So cool. Oh wow. The Mercury mission control for John Glenn's Friendship 7 launch. This is the actual mission control center for that launch. So cool. Wow. That's awesome. There's an actual spacesuit here. Spacesuit worn by Gus Grissom. Wow. He died on Apollo 1. It's the Gemini 9 spacecraft. Gene Cernan did a spacewalk out of this spacecraft in space. That is awesome. There's some stuff missing out of it, though. The seats are gone. But this is what's left of it, though. That's super cool to see. And that heat shield. There's the Mercury Redstone. And the Atlas. It's an Atlas with the Agena target vehicle up on top there. And there's the Titan, a Titan 2 with the Gemini capsule on it. And this is a modern, a newer rocket there. And they're sitting off in the back. It's the Saturn 1B. It's a real Saturn 1B2. The ULA Delta 2. Massive engine there. The power of Apollo. A Saturn V F1 engine right there. Titan 2 right there with the Gemini capsule up on the top. These are the rockets that launched up the Gemini capsules where they did the first spacewalks. This massive portrait here of the International Space Station. It's kind of neat. The Milky Way ice cream shop and the Universe Theater. Here's a full-scale Orion spacecraft spinning here.
This is the closest working model you ever get.
This is a 100% replica of Orion. Hey, look. We're gonna come back to the world's largest NASA space shop, but this is Lego. It's Legos. It's a Lego Mars rover, a full-size replica.
All right, now build it. Look at me.
That's cool. Next up is the attraction I have been waiting on. I've been dying to see this. Space Shuttle Atlantis is inside of this building right here. You see the stack there of the orange external tank and solid rocket boosters. Space Shuttle Atlantis. That's where the explosive bolts go. It's huge.
Ready to move, go.
million miles. Atlantis, welcome home.
Space Shuttle Atlantis. Canaveral. Wow. That's the docking port to the International Space Station there. Man, she's massive.
They live in it. Don't they?
Yeah, up in that front part. That's it. Oh, you can get down under it too, it looks like. Oh, and the engines are still in the back of it. These are the same engines that's going to be on SLS Orion. They're reusing these same engines. Look at that. Boy, she is massive. So beautiful. It's so awesome. It's been to space so many times. No, it looks exactly like it did almost when it landed the last time.
Exactly.
It still has the attachment for the ISS and everything on it. The belly of it. Yeah, you see all the heat burns from where it came through re-entry. And they just left it and put it up on display. Look at that. Wow. It's an amazing sight. You get to see Atlantis. One last shot of Atlantis' belly. Wow. An amazing sight to see Atlantis. I just want to touch it. Man, I just want to touch it. The carbon. United States, NASA. So beautiful. That's cool, the Hubble there. If you ever come visit the Kennedy Space Center here in Cape Canaveral, in the Atlantis building, right below the nose of Space Shuttle Atlantis, there is an area that you must come see, and it is labeled Forever Remembered. This is an entire section solely dedicated to Space Shuttle Challenger and Space Shuttle Columbia, the two space shuttles that blew up, either going up or coming back. The whole section has artifacts from each of the astronauts. Like this is Krista McCuffrey, the teacher who went up on Space Shuttle Challenger. And then they have sections of those destroyed space shuttles on display. It's really powerful, and I could not wait to come see this. There's a left side body panel from Space Shuttle Challenger, and then the cockpit windows from Space Shuttle Columbia. the pieces missing. You can see what it looked like on the inside of the paneling. Man, look at all the scratches and scrapes as it exploded in the air and crash landed into the earth. You can still see all the detail in them, all the other shuttles. You can clearly make out these cockpit windows, but you can, even after the explosion and falling back to Earth, you can still see all the rivet holes. There's little pieces of glass still in it, where it's absolutely incredible to see this. Man, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. One last shot of Atlantis. We're getting on the buses here, and they are going to take us over past the vehicle assembly building to their Apollo building. Host is either SLS Orion or a Spacex Falcon 9. A ULA Delta Heavy right here. Blue Origin down there. The Orion up here.
Now be sure and look at the blue stand that rocket is sitting on, because that is the actual launch platform for that rocket.
Mercury Redstone on top of its actual launch pad stand. That's cool.
Renovation to the inside of this building began to accommodate NASA's next generation of rockets, the Space Launch System, or SLS. Lockheed Martin has developed a capsule called Orion that will sit at... Notice the flag painted on the outside of the VAB? It's the size of a 21-story building. The blue section alone is the size of an NBA basketball court. Each star is 6 feet across, and each red and white stripe is wide enough for this bus to drive down. And the entire VAB? It's so huge that the Roman Colosseum would fit on the roof with room to spare for a parking lot.
Jesus.
By volume, the VAB can fit 3.5 Empire State Buildings, and it would take 250 billion ping pong balls to fill it.
These other two buildings right here, Boeing and the Air Force are in there. They're taking care of the X-37B. There's 2 of them. And
so these were shuttle.
That's a top
refurb
secret
buildings.
that I'm not allowed to talk about. But if you Google it, you'll get a lot of information about it.
Doing just as he said and Googling the X-37B, it pretty much tells me that it is a drone space shuttle. It looks similar to the old space shuttles, but it's fully autonomous. It's completely computerized, and it is used by the U.S. military. They send it up into space via a rocket, and then it can stay up there for months and months and months at a time. It has the capability of spying and taking pictures. They can probably even launch missiles from it. It's all 100% operated by the U.S. Space Force.
Coming up is the crawler transporter over there to your right. Has a yellow hand
there it is.
around it. There's another one right down the side of this white building to your right that sits back a little bit. Right there. Sitting out in the air on pedestals out there is a mobile launch platform.
This is the firing room for Apollo 8, the first launch to the moon. Yep.
This is the firing room, launch control for the Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon.
20 seconds on our steps. We are still in the middle of this time. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9.
Apollo 8 successfully orbited the moon, and the astronauts returned safely to the Earth.
Oh, man. And there she is, the Saturn V. It looks just like it, don't it? Oh, look, there's an Apollo. Here's an Apollo. It looks very, it's a very similar setup to the one to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. This is the Apollo Command Module.
I actually had to learn how to maneuver the spacecraft all over again with that dead
There's nothing in there.
command and service module attached to that.
It's gutted out, empty. This is like almost the exact same setup as Huntsville. All the engines there and everything. That's wild. So cool. It was built to go up on one of the later Apollos. It's a 100% real lunar lander that was built to go to the moon. That's where the astronauts would come out. Neil Armstrong would have walked out of there. This is the ladder. I can see you coming down the ladder now. That's where all that happened at, right there. So cool. Let's look at the sheer size of the Saturn V there. A tribute to Apollo 1. There it is. They couldn't get it open and the astronauts burn up on the inside of it. Wow. The actual Block 1 hatches of the Apollo 1 spacecraft. This is a Block 2 hatch. It was designed to open a lot easier so they could get in. What? Well, yeah, then the astronauts could get out, but the astronauts couldn't get out. That was the thing. LIM, a lunar module trainer. It's the hatch. The astronauts would go out, and that's how they flew it. The windows that they got this. The Apollo capsule would be up here. Yep. And here's some actual lunar equipment. Their little scoop. This is an actual lunar rover that was built to go to the moon, but never made it. And here's Gene Cernan's Apollo 17 spacesuit. He walked. Look, you can still see the dirt and stuff on it from the moon. So cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Now we're going into a vault area, and I'm looking already at spacesuits. This is going to be cool. Oh, there it is. This is the Apollo 14 command module that actually went to space and took the astronauts to the moon. They walked on the moon and then came back to Earth, and this is the exact capsule. We saw Apollo 16 in Huntsville, and now we're getting to see Apollo 14 here in Kennedy. Oh, this was the pull-down arm in Aquarius on Apollo 13. They took it off of the spaceship and put it on a plaque. That's cool.
Well, now look, Houston, all we need to hold attitude is one fixed point in space. Is that not correct?
Yeah, roger that, Jim.
These are all prototype suits that they were working on when they were trying to develop that suit. These are all suits they went through when they were trying to develop it. This is Alan Shepard's Apollo 14 spacesuit. So cool. Here he is wearing it.
Here, hold that.
These gloves were used by astronaut Buzz Aldrin for Apollo 11. This is Buzz Aldrin's gloves. Lunar scoop and lunar sample. It was used on Apollo 14. The television camera from Apollo 11. It's Apollo 11's television camera. Here's Apollo 11's lunar surface maps they took up to space with them. Apollo 11 contingency plan. A lunar sample bag. And then, no, this is Jim Lovell's Apollo 13. He wore that while he was fighting for his life on Apollo 13. He wore that like the whole time while they were up there, since he never had to put a spacesuit on. That's cool. Oh, there she is. Orion EF-1. This is the very first Orion space capsule ever made, and it went up to space and was unmanned, and they just did testing to make sure it was right. Look at all the thermal tiles all over it. It came back down to Earth and landed in the ocean, and they recovered it and put it right here. It's sitting right here. Man, it's so cool. Here's a mock-up of the Boeing Starliner. Boeing's new spacecraft they're developing. Oh, this is a Dragon.
First Dragon to the International Space Station.
This was the very first Dragon spacecraft to go to the International Space Station. How cool is that? This is Spacex Dragon right here. Oh, here's a picture of it. Here's a picture of it right here. this, they sent up supplies inside of this Dragon, docked with the International Space Station, and the astronauts were able to eat some dinner that night. Some good food. That's awesome. I'm seriously thinking about buying the SpaceX shirt from the gift shop.
I want a SpaceX jacket.
That's cool. The very first SpaceX Dragon, and now, in just, what, a day or two's time, SpaceX Dragon Crew 3 is launching, which is wild. So in this one little room, they got an Orion spacecraft that went to space and a SpaceX Dragon back there in the corner. Well, we are leaving the Kennedy Space Center. That's going to do it for this episode today from the Kennedy Space Center here in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, go down and hit that subscribe button, then hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you want to help support the channel, check out the links in the description box below. Thank you all. I'll see you again tomorrow. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Much love to you all. I love this stuff.